Oh, I mean, a friend of mine posted like a selfie, like a mirror selfie showing off the outfit or whatever, right?
Yep.
And it was an R&B song, like it's just like, oh, I love you so much, and I was like, that is so weird. Like, why would you do that? He was like,
Like,
you're like the third.
sorry, go ahead. No, finish your story.
Oh, he was just like, you're the third person to tell me that. I thought it was normal. I was like, that's very freaky, my guy.
Is it like, is it like the kind of music you would see in like a thirst trap kind of video?
Not even. It was just really random. It was just Mary J. Blige. I forget what the song was. I could probably go back and look. I don't. He might have deleted it. I don't know. But yeah,
Interesting.
that's it. Hey,
Like,
Mediocre Gamer fam, how you guys doing? It is I, Anthony. I'm here with my best friend AJ. AJ, how you doing?
I am doing great today. Just had some relief come and help, so I am, for all intents and purposes, for the most part, debt free now. So I am having a fantastic day, even though it's Monday. How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Nothing really new or interesting. At least not yet. I mean, I'm sure that'll change. But yeah, no, I'm fine. It was actually a pretty just normal day. I got up, went to work. I don't know, my coworkers annoy me, but that's all the time, every day. So
I mean, yeah,
whatever the
that's
case
what
is.
coworkers are for, to bother you, get your
Yeah,
way, all the things.
exactly, and not do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to apologize for any smoke detectors you may hear. It's a long story about why there's suddenly a problem, but long story short, the batteries are coming, and they annoy me as much as they annoy all of the listeners. And I'm very sorry in advance if they are bothering you. But hey, hey, it's a podcast. It's a gaming podcast in particular. It's not a home improvement podcast, because if it were, your house would burn down if you take any of our like promptly.
I kind of have that same issue here. I came home one day and I just see there's like my smoke detector in my room's just gone, and there's a random one like sitting like on my chest of drawers over there, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay. And I my roommate works from home every day. I work from home like a little over half the time now, but at the time it was like half the time. And I was like, hey, like, you know what happened to my smoke detector? Like, obviously someone moved it, right? Like, the fucking
Right.
smoke detector fairy didn't come take it down in the middle of the day. Like, it doesn't happen like that. So I was like, hey, like, what like, what happened? He's like, oh yeah, like, mine just stopped working. Like, he's like it just started making a loud, constant beep. Like, not beeping like a normal smoke detector, right? Like,
Yeah,
it
like
just
just the
like,
brand.
yeah, it just kept going. And he's like, I couldn't figure it out. He's like, whenever I turn it on, it'd work for like 5 minutes and then just do that. And so yeah, we still, I don't know where I was going with that story. Long story short, still not resolved. I don't have a smoke detector in here, and I'm like easily the biggest fire hazard out of anyone in this house.
Yeah, you got like
Considering
17 monitors. I don't even
all of
think
that is
people
also
really
always plugged
understand.
in. Like, that's, it's not on, but it's plugged in. So just think about,
Yeah.
and then all this has to be plugged in. So just think about how many power strips I have running in this room, and that's like without seeing what's over there too. It's just
Yeah.
madness
Yeah,
in
it's
here.
just it's a lot going on. We're not here to talk about smoke detectors, even though I'm sure we could. Smoke detectors are one of the weirdest things ever, because they can save your life, but they are so annoying, dude. Just so annoying.
Dude,
And then
okay,
the weird thing
I get
the
go
weird
ahead.
thing about my smoke detectors is that they're like wired into the house, right? That's the thing. They're wired in. I can't just take it down. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And the craziest part is
yeah.
they're wired into the house. You would think they would just be connected to the house's power. There's lights on right now, right? No, wrong. They still need batteries. I don't know why they need batteries if they're wired. They're attached. I can't take them out the
So
roof. I'm
they
sorry.
they said let's make this as inconvenient as possible on
It's
whoever's
so
living here.
dumb. It's so
That's
stupid.
horrible.
Like it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I mean, I can tune it out for the most part, but then like when I listen to it, I'm just like, ah. And then the more I think about it, the more pissed I get. What were you gonna say, AJ? I'm so sorry.
So while we're talking about smoke detectors for some fucking reason, have you seen the show Nathan for You?
I have not. I've never heard of that. What is that?
Okay, so it's this guy named Nathan Fielder. He goes around and like helps businesses. He has like a business degree and all this stuff, but he goes and just gives them the dumbest fucking ideas ever. And so,
Okay.
but like they're ideas that like technically would work, and sometimes they do work.
Mm.
And they're all legal, and so like this one, the lady was trying to get smoke detectors shipped overseas for a lot cheaper, like to avoid tariffs and stuff. And so he found out is if you can classify a smoke detector as a musical instrument, you can avoid tariffs. And so he had to like form a band, have them release music, and like grow in the charts for it to be recognized as a musical instrument. And by the end of the episode, he actually got a like discount on shipping by doing that, which is crazy. I don't think she rolled with it, but like she would have to change all of her marketing to be like a musical, like the outside of the box was changed to like new musical instrument. Like he had to make like ads. Like, it was just crazy, but like it's really interesting.
It's actually very interesting, and it actually ties into our topic of the day in a weird way. Hold up, walk with me for a second, because you can do the same thing with a controller if you really take a step back. I mean, especially like the first time my PlayStation 5 controller specifically started talking to me and vibrating and stuff. I mean, with the little like the tech demo for the PlayStation 5 that comes with it. I forget the name of it at the moment, but the first time I got to see all the features of the PlayStation 5 controller, it made me not want to put it down. And the topic of today is controllers, baby. Oh man, this is like an improv class on crack. I like it.
Yeah, it is controllers. And so we have a slew of controllers that have come out over the years. Really, it started all the way back with the very, very first controller, which is the control box for Space War, back before even Pong was a thing. Like we're talking, we're going deep into the archive on this one.
Dog.
Where it literally was like just this like metal box, the little knob, and a button, and that was it. Which technically we downgraded going to Pong in a way because we lost the button. It's just a knob, but it's Pong.
I mean, first of all, Pong was its own kind of gaming revolution. It was the first time that people could game from the comfort of their couch, and people were losing their minds over Pong. It's hard to imagine now in a world where like Dragon's Dogma exists. But Pong captured millions. Space War, not so much. I mean, Space War was obviously very successful, but not as successful as Pong.
No, I mean it was literally the first like ever rendition. Like I don't believe it was sold publicly. I could be wrong. I don't think it was though. But yeah, no, Pong was. I mean, it was such a big deal that they were making new Pong machines and like reinventing it and doing new iterations for. I mean, over 10 years. Like it was to the point where people were like, I never want to see these things again. Like there is so many different renditions of Pong out there. It's wild.
I mean, and it's funny to think that it's kind of like Tetris, like how many different versions of Tetris are just Tetris, or Bejeweled, another great example. But and it's funny to think that was the first controller. It's just this and a button, and just like people losing their minds.
Before we got right like to that, the stick and the button, we did also have the Magnavox Odyssey, which was like an actual console. Like, it had different games other than one, like Pong, but that was also literally just a spinning nab. I think there was maybe, like, a side button, but really, where the gaming controller got its start, was the Atari. I mean, that's the classic stick, button on a black square. You really can't go wrong. Anyone can look at that and go, like, that makes sense. I understand this.
Yeah, it's definitely not a sex toy, like, for sure.
Oh my God.
It's not, AJ. It's not.
It's not. But the rod is definitely long enough for it. I'm sure it's been done plenty of time.
Shout out to Atari, because Atari and Sega, two of the biggest what ifs ever.
No kidding. They both fumbled the bag hard,
real bad.
One of the ways that Atari fumbled the bag was after they made that revolutionary controller, they then went and joined the rest of the competition and did, number pads? You know, where it's like 1 through 9 and then like a knob button thing at the bottom. Like, I understand. Because I know the problem at the beginning. Give me 1 second here. I know the problem at the beginning was like, how do we convert these? Because before, when game companies were making video games, it was for arcades. right? And so you made your own controller for the game. There was zero limitation. So there was an issue initially of like, okay, how do we like make it so this works for all games, but also is like understandable for everyone? It's not just this insane thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's where that number pad came from, but it just don't stick too well.
No, not at all. But I mean, it's one of those weird things too, where it's like you gotta follow the standard. Kind of like, I don't think Grand Theft Auto was the first one to kind of implement this, but it definitely was one of the first ones to popularize it. Where like using the triggers to accelerate and brake,
Oh,
just
yeah.
stuff like that, or like using, trying to think of another one that's like a better one because that's probably the most universal one, or like using X or square to attack, like
Yeah.
you light attack and
Or
then heavy
the
attack,
left stick
like.
for sprint.
Yeah, the left stick for sprint, left analog stick to move, just a
Yeah.
certain standard. So to appeal to a standard, I could see them going like, hey, listen, what if we do what everyone else is doing because everyone else is doing. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it happens in gaming now. It was probably most apparent in like the 360 era, another great controller. But it was apparent when it's like, oh man, like you're telling me that big gray shooters are popular. Let's make big gray shooters. This one's
Mm-hmm.
sci-fi, this one's modern. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. And before Nintendo dropped the bombshell that was the NES, we
Mm.
did have Coleco trying their
Oh, yeah.
hand at not just video games, because they of course they were at the time, but at making that all-in-one arcade machine. So the
Mhm.
Coleco Telestar Arcade. I don't know if you've seen this, but
I don't think I've seen it
it is
physically. Hold on.
a triangle shaped device with a little bit of
Okay.
everything on it. There's a steering wheel on one side, there's a regular controller on one side, there's a gun on one, like a light gun on one side. They have like,
Wow, this is so ugly. This
oh,
is
it's
so
horrible.
bad.
Oh, it's horrible. But like you can see the vision. You can see the vision. Where
I
they're
mean,
like, it's one and all, but like,
like you can do literally everything, but in that you can't do anything.
uh-huh.
It's kind of like the Nintendo 64.
Yes, that's a really good comparison because the N64 controller, they made it with that three-prong thing, so you have three different ways
Yeah.
of playing it because this was, keep in mind, when 3D games were first becoming a thing, so they weren't sure that this was going to catch on, and so Nintendo did their Nintendo thing, and every time they release a new console, they still support the last one and like make sure that they could like still do it in a way so if the new one fails they could jump back, right? Like they did it with the DS. They're like, oh, this is a third pillar. No, it wasn't. It succeeded the Game Boy. They did it with the Switch by still supporting the 3DS for like 2 years after brand new games because they were like, this
They
don't
did it
work
with
out.
the Wii and how you can play the GameCube games, even though the
Mm-hmm.
GameCube was probably objectively a failure, regardless of how
Yeah.
popular it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the GameCube controller is absolutely phenomenal.
All right.
We're back.
I don't know if it was even. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know if it was a technical difficulty. It was just us having to have a conversation about storage because I mean I know I need to clean the computer up real bad. Um,
I'll give it up to technical issues because I ran out of storage just because I apparently need to go through my storage. So that is something I'm doing tonight apparently. Either way, we left off just starting to touch on the GameCube controller.
yeah.
What I really liked what Nintendo did with it, because the button scheme, the button layout, is so well thought out in the fact that A is your main button for every game, universal, easy. Everyone understands that. B is your secondary button, and then X and Y are just around. Like all your buttons are around, easy. A and B are the easiest; those are your main two. X and Y are easy to feel up there too. Most of them have a different shape and feel. Uh, it's a really durable controller. The toggle stick feels great, except for the C stick. That's a nightmare. I don't know. If only they made it a bit bigger. Gave a little girth to the thighs.
Oh, jeez.
Added another Z trigger and added a little size of the C stick. I think it would be damn near a perfect controller from a
Like I
comfort
just need to
perspective.
leave you. Like I need to just leave you alone with the GameCube controller for like 7 minutes and let you just have whatever moment you need to
Oh,
have with that.
7 minutes? Psh, 2.
90 seconds. 90 seconds later, you're just like, I'm good. We're good. Come on. We're back.
I think you mean 120.
Oh gosh, not even 120. Not even 120. All right. Well, well. Wow. Now the thing about the game is that I haven't played. Well, so here's the thing. I literally only play Smash with GameCube controllers now
Okay.
because I mean, what else? If you're playing Smash with a freaking Switch little thingamabobber, you're wrong. Okay, I just need you to get right. Just do better in your life.
So,
okay.
I actually have a funny story with that. I've gotten
Oh gosh.
really good at Smash with Joy-Cons. The reason for that being, and I'm not trying to flex or anything, it's just like how it is.
Okay. No,
I'm
fine.
better than most of my friends. Not all. Most of my friends at Smash. So whenever I play Smash with them, they're like, nope, AJ gets the Joy-Cons. We're taking the GameCube controllers, the Pro controller,
But I
whatever.
think that's gonna help them.
AJ gets the Joy-Cons. And I'm like, fine. And they're like, you don't even get the frame that it plugs into. You get them just in each hand. I'm like, okay. So I've actually gotten really good at using them.
So here's my thing about the Joy-Cons on Smash. First of all, who do you main?
Okay. I am. Everyone's like, oh, at first, but then they play me and they're like, okay, you're not as bad as everyone else. I main Sonic, but I don't camp. I'm actually really aggressive with Sonic. My that and Piranha Plant I'm tied with because I'm really cheeky with Piranha Plant Spike Ball. I'm really cheeky with it.
That's good. See, I'm a dork and I main Ike, and it's funny because there was this one convention that my girlfriend and I went to, and there was a voice actor who had like a Smash tournament, like as a fan panel.
Okay.
And she was like, this is how I knew she was a problem. She literally opened up like the little like settings thing on like I guess it wasn't her Switch, and literally like made her name, but she like did it with like the symbols and there were diamonds and it was shine, and she did it in like 7 seconds flat. And I was like, okay. This is different, right? And sure enough, you wanna know who she mained? You wanna know who she mained and rocked everybody with?
It's gotta be someone fast, I would imagine.
It was Cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, because Cloud is super decent. Cloud is nice, right? I'm an Ike player because I'm a dork. It's okay. I'm not even that great with Ike. It's just I know what I'm doing with Ike. But no, she popped everybody. There was one dude that got real close, but she popped everybody. I've never seen nothing like that. I said all that to say she used the GameCube controller.
GameCube controller is definitely my preferred way of playing it, but a lot of times, honestly, I don't even bother breaking them out because my Pro controller for my Switch is just a lot easier to access. I don't have to, plug the things in, unravel it, plug. It's not like a big deal, but it's just a lot easier to just quick grab my Pro controller and turn it on, and it's not as good, but I love the Switch Pro controller. It's a really, really good controller.
Listen, the Switch Pro controller is very solid. In my humble opinion, this might be a hot take. I feel like it should have came with the base Switch. Just one, and then you get another one if that's just not your preferred way of playing.
It would be cool if there was like a bundle where it was cheaper to get like a Switch and a Pro controller, and there you'd pay less if you got like that bundle. That would be cool, I think.
Yeah, because I mean the Joy-Cons, while they're pretty cool in theory, kind of suck.
Oh, they suck. I'm praying to God that the next Joy-Cons are a bit beefier, have like maybe a little like grip or something. I don't know, like not like a rubber grip, but like some thighs, like a little
some girthy controllers.
Yeah,
AJ.
a little
why
heft.
Why do you not love the Xbox 360 controllers? They're just round.
Oh, I
so
think,
round, chunky.
I think the Xbox 360 controller is great. It definitely isn't as good as the newer iterations. Like the series, the one in the series controllers are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, so is the Xbox 360 controller. They just feel a bit more refined. They just feel just a bit, nothing crazy. I really feel it like in the series controller. That's what I use for like my PC whenever I like use a controller. I got one of those, in the triggers. Oh my gosh, they geniuses, because instead of just having like the like standard trigger, it goes out, but then also like angles in, so your finger actually wraps around it.
Rest.
Like they have thought
smart.
about it so well, and then it's actually rubber textured grip underneath. Like they are,
so you don't
like,
yeah.
They are actually, but then like your also fingers don't sweat. Like it's like I don't know how they figured out a correct rubber for that, but like it is a great controller. That's like the best thing Xbox has done is their controllers.
I mean, yeah, 1000%. Okay, AJ, I have something that's gonna get you in trouble. Xbox Series controllers versus PlayStation 5 controllers. Now, I have not touched a Series controller, right? So I'm going off of the PlayStation 5 controller, which is incredible. If you turn off adaptive triggers, you're a freak. Why would you do that? They're amazing. Because I know it's tough, and I'm not biased. I'm willing to be told something different. I just really love the PlayStation 5 controller.
Okay. This is extremely hard. So,
Oh.
if you were to have me use, let's say a PlayStation 5 controller is just as easy to connect to a PC as an Xbox One, it's almost like you just have to do like some free software. It's like just an extra step. But ignoring that, let's say it's just as easy. I still would rather go with the Xbox controller just from a strictly feel from a controller standpoint because the Xbox controller does feel nicer. Like the sticks are better, the buttons are better, the triggers, like I said, are better. Like the grip is better. But now, if we want to compare them when you're using them natively on their consoles, PS5 is better because it innovates. Actually, the Xbox controller doesn't innovate; it's boring. It is well refined, well tuned, but it does nothing new, nothing fun, nothing interesting. The the triggers are so sick. The vibration on the PlayStation controller is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, yeah, and it has, well, it's not used too well, and people I don't think really want to use it. It still has a touchpad on it. That's pretty neat. Like, it has a lot of features. Oh, and a rechargeable battery. It has a lot of features on it that aren't on the Xboxes. So, like,
the Xbox doesn't have a rechargeable battery yet?
No. It's still, oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. To put this in perspective.
I got my
oh god.
This is a Series X controller right here.
No.
I only keep them in because I only use this for my PC. I have them in the wrong way, so I don't use up battery. I only keep them in to add weight. Otherwise, it's too lightweight without them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This was a problem on the Xbox 360. I remember specifically getting rechargeable backs on my Xbox 360 controller with rechargeable batteries.
Yeah.
Because it was too stupid to keep buying AA. Is Microsoft invested in Duracell? Is there some type of vested interest where they're like, we got to keep these motherfuckers on batteries? Like, what?
I think it's for cutting costs.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me that it's less expensive to get. It doesn't even have to be a good battery. I refuse to believe. And then here's the problem. If Sony can do it, Sony does a lot of things wrong. Okay. They got it right with the PlayStation 4 controller. The PlayStation 4 controller is pretty good. It's not the best. It's not my favorite. It's kind of skinny, but they got it right for the most part, right? The PlayStation 5 controller, they did it even better.
Yeah. So it's hard. So that's why it's hard for me to say, because if you're playing on the native consoles, I'd say PS5. But if you're using it as just a controller, not the native console, just in general, the Xbox's feels better. So it's like, it's kind of hard to say. I'd say PS5 for innovation, but Xbox's does feel better. I have to give him it.
Just for context, it is 4:53 p.m. In the afternoon for AJ and I. We're in the same time zone. And I need a shot after hearing. I'm getting a tension headache because that just pissed me off. I need something to take the edge off. Oh my god!
Even though I play with it wired anyways, I still was a bit disappointed when I opened it and saw that. And for me, it was mainly because of how light it was. It without the batteries, it's like as light as like a PS3 controller. You know how those things felt like you could just snap them without even trying? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It feels sturdier than that. It won't make all the noises if you try. But
Yeah.
yeah, it certainly felt like a toy. So I thought that was an interesting move. You know what?
Shout out. I was just gonna say shout out to my people at Microsoft because y'all, I do you guys play video games? Because here's the thing: if you played video games, you would know that nobody wanted to buy batteries for their controller. It was dumb when the 360 did it. It was dumb when the PlayStation 3 did it. That's why the PlayStation 4 stopped doing it. And
Well, and the
it's
PS3 stopped
2020.
doing it through their life cycle. They made standard with the dual shock. What was it? The dual axis or whatever the heck it was called.
Yeah,
They swapped to rechargeable.
it's 2024. Like
Mm-hmm.
wow, I my God, like what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, no.
What's going on?
I think that's definitely an interesting move. And you know what else was an interesting move? Back in the
What?
day, the Wii remote was definitely an odd choice. Genius, but odd.
Mhm.
I mean,
I mean, it was odd, but I mean, it also was doing something that, well, I'm not going to say hadn't been done before. Motion control gaming had been a thing
mhm.
forever. Well, I'm not going to say forever, but definitely from the arcade days,
Yeah.
it was less utilized into now, but I mean, playing like time splitters and shit, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but with the Wii, I gotta calm down. I'm sorry. With the Wii specifically, it gets a lot of passes and got a lot of passes even back then because it was doing something that nobody had really done before, at least not done well. Like it was trying to be like a TV remote because you could get Netflix on your Wii. That was mind blowing at the time.
Yeah.
And it was trying to be a fun way to play your Wii Sports, and like not
Hmm.
just any Wii Sports, every Wii Sport. So it was they get a lot of passes.
Yeah, and I mean they were trying to target a different market with that, right? Like they were going for casuals.
Hmm.
They wanted to make it so same thing with like Xbox's Kinect. You in a way you are the controller. While there is a physical controller with this, it's the
Right.
Wii remote. You still are like you swing your arm and it swings. Like you don't have to learn how to do that. You've bowled hundreds of times in your life if you're an adult. Like you don't need to learn how to do that. You need a tutorial to learn to press A while swinging and then let go. That was it. I mean, that's simple.
It was
Um,
pretty insane. I'm so happy you brought up the Kinect. So here's the thing with the Kinect, real quick, and then we don't even have to talk about it too much more if you don't want to. But I feel like Xbox had a really cool idea,
mhm.
and I don't think they did. First of all, if they just dropped the games they said they were gonna drop, I think we would have been happy. You remember that Fable game that never came out? That was supposed to be
Oh
on Connect. It
yeah.
was supposed to be dope. That would have been
Well,
great.
they were also over promising so bad. You remember how they pretty much said they invented AI almost? They didn't say that. They did not say that. But like
They
they
didn't.
literally had, I forget what it's called. Oh my gosh, but it was like a dude you can talk to and you could just say like whatever and it would be able to respond to you with
But
whatever. Like I forget what's called. Have it up. But it like literally it was like, "Hey Joshua," and he's like, "Hey Sarah, how are you today?" And she's like, "I'm good." Like, such and such happened. To be like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Like, it's just like it was like literally like an AI. Like to this day, people are like, we would struggle making that right now. We're getting very close. It's like what Nvidia
pretty
is
close.
doing. It literally reminded me of what Nvidia is doing with AI. Like it is identical. So like they
Shout
definitely
out to Nvidia.
yes, they definitely overpromised. And what's interesting is the Kinect really is where Xbox started to go downhill. Because up until the Kinect released, and a little bit after, of course, it didn't just happen overnight, Xbox 360 was winning over PS3, and they put so much focus into it, trying to compete with the Wii, that PS3 then overtook them, and then PS4 just launched off of that. And Xbox is yet to recover. So think about that. Xbox is still trying to recover to this day from that blunder of the Kinect back then.
Yeah, I feel like one day game companies are gonna figure out literally all you have to do is what you say. Like that's it. That was the thing. Like again, I've said it once before, I'm gonna say it till it's not true. I miss when those game trailers would lie to us because it got me so excited.
Uh
Like
huh.
that one I still think about that PlayStation 3 one where like those two dudes like where you like it's co-op and you can trade the guns with your partner and like you're hanging off the thing and it's like looking back, ain't no goddamn way that was real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
But it was really cool because it could have been.
At that time, it felt like anything's possible. Like when we were coming up to the PS3 and the Xbox 360, like it was like, whoa, like we're almost real graphics. Now we look back and it's like, oh boy. That's one thing though I feel like you can't say about our current generation. Like you know, 20 years from now, you look back at God of War Ragnarok. I doubt people are going to be saying like, "Oh boy, that looks rough." It might feel rough, like mechanically, if we improve a bunch, but like,
clunky.
but it won't look rough. Like that, it damn near looks real. Like that, we can't get much better graphically. So really quick, so back to the Kinect and its motivation. PlayStation also tried their hand at that with the PlayStation Move, which. Yeah, that was an interesting take because they didn't even like try to innovate. They're just like, here's Wii controllers, but on the PlayStation.
Yeah, and then they didn't even do like because I'll give Xbox some credit because the Kinect had Just Dance, Dance Central, Pick Your
Connectimals.
Poison, their Connectimals. Like you had a reason to get a Kinect and have fun. This
And it was
is
different.
true.
That was genuinely
It was
different.
different.
Yes.
It was very different, right? And PlayStation, I just punched my microphone. Xbox was just not Xbox. PlayStation was just like, here you go.
Yeah, and then they're just like, we don't really know what to do with this. It didn't sell well, so fuck it, we're done. Like you know, like.
And then I think Sony is like the Google of gaming in the sense of PlayStation just has a bunch of stuff and they're like, I think this will work. And then when it doesn't work, they're like, okay, we didn't invest too heavily in that. PlayStation VR, prime example, specifically PlayStation VR 2, because again, we didn't need a PlayStation VR 2. PlayStation VR was perfectly fine. Nobody had it anyway. All you had to do is make it compatible with PlayStation 5. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about VR very briefly because those are controllers.
VR I think is in a hard spot right now in the sense that I struggle with this to this day as someone who has had my Oculus since it's been like high school. It's been a while. I have like not the original, but I have the original Rift. And to this day, when I'm in it, I forget which one's A, which one's B, which one. I know A and B are on the right, X and Y on the left, but I forget which one's which. And it's not like in a regular, like the real world, where like if I did draw a blank for whatever, I could look down. You can't look down in VR, so it's really hard with controllers to get that across to new people. The gripping is easy. Grab the grip or grab the trigger, like that's easy. Move your hand, but like the buttons, the top buttons and the toggle sticks, easy. The buttons, like I feel like are a bit tricky, and I notice that with all like whenever I have someone new trying it, I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta press the A button. They're like, huh? And I just have to move their thumb for them. I'm like, don't swing.
Right
like,
there.
here you go. That's the button. But yeah, so I think that's like the hardest part. What I'm really excited for is for VR to get, and I think we're getting close to a point where it truly is our body and we're fully immersed, like what Kinect's vision was, but even further because it's in VR versus a TV screen. Because we're coming up on omnidirectional treadmills where you can just run in place, and gloves that have resistance that stop and give you little senses of touch. Like at that point, I think once you make that somewhat affordable, an omnidirectional treadmill will never be ultra affordable.
Right.
But at least the gloves and the VR headset, once you make that affordable, I think that'll make it a lot more popular. And then of course software has to come with it. We need better games. They all feel like almost all feel like tech demos still to this day.
I mean, because they are. VR specifically, because I mean, the Wii had the exact same problem when it came out. They just figured it out kind of halfway through the life cycle. But they kind of are, because I don't think VR is where VR wants to be for sure. And as far as making it accessible for consumers, I mean, not really. Like I don't know.
I think half of VR's issue is same thing kind of with Kinect. Like you can't sit down. A lot of times when people are gaming, they just want to relax. They got off of work. I just want to sit down and relax. Like you with most VR games, you can't. Like
Mm-hmm.
It's not really an option. Of course, you could hop in Minecraft, sit there, but
Mm.
like,
Oh yeah.
but with most VR games you can't. And so like the fact that like Wii, I mean, you could sit down with Wii, you could play tennis while sitting, you could sit here and swing. It's not
You
fun,
can.
but you
Yeah.
could bowl just like this. It's not fun. You can. You
Yeah.
can golf.
Yeah.
Like I've done it. I've done it. It's very doable. Like
Oh, okay, time out. Why were you playing the Wii sitting down? I don't think I've seen that apart from like maybe Mario
I was
Kart
a child
or
and I wanted to
something.
see if I could.
AJ 101. I'm not gonna lie. I think the only game I actively played sitting down apart from Mario Kart was Bully Scholarship Edition.
That was on Wii.
Yeah, Scholarship
I
Edition,
didn't know
yeah.
that was. Huh.
You didn't
That,
know it was
and
on
that-
Wii? Yeah.
no, that makes sense. I played a lot of games sitting down on Wii, but that's because that was my main console for a while. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I got Sonic Unleashed on Wii. I got Mario Galaxy definitely sat down during that.
Mm-hmm.
All those kind of. I mean, shoot, Wii and GameCube. It's one of those. Probably GameCube, but Wii is like a close second for most games. Like for a console, I have for sure.
Yeah, uh oh, the GameCube. And then the GameCube makes me nervous for the new Switch that we know is coming out. It's probably going to be announced literally any day. Nintendo said as much. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be announced at some summer game event because E3 died a horrible death. It died in a fire. Children, if you don't know what E3 is, just ask your parents and watch a tear slowly drop from their eyes as they sit you down.
Just hop on.
But
Just watch the old. Oh, never mind. That's E3. I was thinking the Game Awards. I was like, hop on the old Spike Game Awards and prepare to be scarred. But no, that's
shout out to
E3.
the old Spike Game Awards. Those were fun. I remember
They
they
were.
announced an SSX game. This is
Oh,
like with a reboot.
SSX needs to come back. SSX needs
It
to
does
come
need to
back.
come back. I remember. I don't even remember who it was. It was just a man and a woman, and the woman just got up on stage and just said, "I love sex," and the dude was like, "Yeah, SSX coming soon," and then she was like, "Oh yeah, that too."
That sounds so on par. That sounds so
So
on par.
good.
Oh, I love
And
it.
then that was back when the Game Awards would come on at like 10 o'clock at night
Uh-huh.
on Spike, the same channel as 1,000 Ways to Die, and I think not Guy Code. It was some dude, some real masculine dude show.
Well, there's the dude
My
show.
point is-
Like there's tons of just dude shows and
Oh
like
my
action
gosh, it was
movies.
so good.
That was the place for action movies. That's what I mainly used Spike for. Was the
Action
action
movies,
movies.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I miss the old Game Awards because I mean, granted, Jeff Keighley's doing an amazing job with the Video Game Awards now, but the old Game Awards, it would literally just be a black banquet hall with just curtains everywhere because they probably couldn't really afford a great space,
Yep.
and just everybody sitting down like, oh yeah, Game of the Year, and that's literally all you wait for. And they would try so hard to just do anything to make it interesting, so hard. It was so good.
It was. So back to game controllers. There's one last mainline. I'm saying mainline. Out of all the big ones, of course, right? We have all the offshoots. There's and tons of knockoffs. You got Power A, you got Mad Cats, you got Hori, you got tons of knockoffs. It's not even funny.
Oh gosh, so many
I don't.
names.
I don't even
so
want to
many
think of Mad
companies.
Cats again.
Why'd you say it? Why'd you bring it up?
I had to. It's worth mentioning. It's just the absolute scum of the barrel when it comes to those. And then there's nicer ones like Scuff and things like that, which really
shout out
led
Scuff.
way to the Elite controller with Xbox because they had the paddles on the bottom and all that. But anyways, the Wii U definitely needs to be mentioned if we're talking about game controllers. I mean, you got to give it to Nintendo. They tried. They tried.
It was
to
a
innovate.
swing.
And without,
They took a swing.
I believe without the Wii U, we wouldn't have the Switch today. I truly.
Oh,
That was.
I don't
the
know.
evolution.
Cause I don't know. This might be a hot take, but cause here's my thing, right? Because what Nintendo did with the Wii is kind of like what they did with the DS from the Game Boy. So it's like, okay, we're gonna try touch pad stuff and like because they had the Game Boy, had the GameCube, and now they're like, okay, the DS. Let's just see what this does. And it was an innovation it was building upon. I feel like somebody made the Wii U in an attempt to make the Switch, but they were like, close enough. Hey, boss, look what I made. And while the Wii, granted, this is what's important. The Wii U is actually very, very cool. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
really cool
Yeah.
and actually pretty powerful, all things considered. I haven't seen the breakdown, but I would put money on the fact that the Switch is probably as powerful as the Wii U. I would put
Oh,
money on that.
it's gonna be more. It's gotta be more. It's gotta be more.
Now
Probably not
we
crazy
have to
amount.
see Wii U
But
versus Switch.
here's where I think they got a lot of the ideas for the Switch from the Wii U. The Wii U is kind of a portable console. Kind of. So
Kinda.
you could, and people did this. Take your Wii U with you to wherever you're going. Plug the console in to any outlet. Doesn't matter. Don't need an HDMI. Just plug it into an outlet and you can play the game on the gamepad. So in that sense, like people did that while traveling. Like in that sense, you could, like it's just as portable, not as portable, but it's portable like the Switch is. Big marketing push that Nintendo had was, oh, parents want to watch something on the TV. Well, you don't need to take up the TV gaming. Switch to the gamepad. So like I do think that those ideas are what then prompted the Switch.
And then AJ, you're right. I'm wrong. The Switch is, I don't know about always, but the Switch is a little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit more powerful. Moral to the story is, I feel like the Switch was always in mind, and I feel like if we had went from the Wii to the Switch, Nintendo might be like an actual superpower, like literally nuclear codes.
Oh yeah, I don't think we were ready for the Switch quite yet, because I don't think the Wii would have been powerful enough to like truly do that. But
no.
Yeah, I agree though. They would be a juggernaut. I mean, they are, but like
they are probably the big third in gaming, so to speak. But if the jump, because again, the Wii had a grip on everyone. You couldn't escape the Nintendo Wii. And when the Switch came, everyone was skeptical. It was like, I don't know. And like I remember, when the announcement trailer for the Switch came out, and everybody was like, why would I want to play NBA 2K on a park bench? Do you remember that?
Yes,
when everybody was like didn't get it
because everyone was like switching like out on like a rooftop, a park bench, things like it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and then it came out, and everybody was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, and really, even to this day, people aren't taking it to parties and whipping out. And I mean, some people do whip it on park benches. Don't get me wrong, but like, not many people are doing that.
Park benches, baby.
A lot of times when people are playing it portably, it's just around their house, or if they're like traveling. Like you got to travel for work. Okay, like on the plane, or like they're like, I'm in a small town that has nothing to fucking do. So like at night, I might as well hop on I mean, I do that. I have to travel to Decatur, Illinois every other year for work. There ain't nothing to do in Decatur, Illinois, I can tell you that. And so the Switch is my best friend in that hotel room.
Okay, side note, when I travel for work, I like to watch the local news because I just want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was in Minnesota one time, and this was right before they were about to legalize something green. I'm not going to say it in case we're going to get demonetized. But they were about to legalize it. I remember they were having a trial for it while I was like there, like the case was being heard. And there was this white dude, and like he had dreads, and he had like a reggae cap on. And mind you, this is in the middle of February, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, this is a real person who went to a courtroom and was like, if I was gonna legalize something green, I'm not listening to you. Like, I was just confused.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Like, if you're gonna push for anything like that, you gotta look professional. Like, I understand he's fitting the profile for the people that do that often, but like, come on, man, like dress up a bit. You gotta attract the bees with some honey. You can't be sitting there looking like dirty honey. You gotta be fresh, clean honey.
Yeah, that's kind of like what the Wii U looked like before the Switch.
Yeah,
like that. It
looks like a toy.
It was like
it's like all
it's like I see the vision, but I don't get it.
I will. Yeah, and it feels good. It feels really good.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, again, the Wii U. Oh my gosh! If literally it never came out, if the Switch was as bulky as the Wii U, I don't know if they could have been stopped.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah,
there's
biggest what if ever.
we could sit here and what if and whatnot, but either way, I mean, Nintendo is on top right now. They are. I mean, if you really look at it, PlayStation and Xbox are struggling to this day. Yeah, PS5 is winning, but like, it's not winning. Like, I saw a
No, not the
statistic
way
where
Nintendo's winning.
half of PlayStation's users still are on PS4. They don't own a PS5. So,
Yeah, I mean, and
like,
why would you?
why exactly? We're getting to that stage of like, why would you? Because from PS3 to PS4, it was like, I have to get this. I'm out of date if I don't. PS2 to PS3, I have to get this. That sentiment is gone. I saw a thing where it was like, there's like 10 to 15. I don't remember the exact number. Like 10 to 15 new exclusive PS5 games. That's it. Just think about that. That is horrendously low. That is horrendously
Now,
low.
I wonder how many games it would be if, because like for example, Hades, which was a PlayStation exclusive, just popped up on Game Pass one day.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Deathloop. Same with, I mean, you could pick a handful of games,
Yep.
but I wonder. It's probably closer to 10. It might be like 10 or 12 because I'm sure 3 of them are on Xbox now. But
Mm-hmm. Well, and think about a lot of the Sony exclusives. Just because they're exclusive doesn't mean that it's PS5 exclusive. A lot of them are like they
no,
have, like PlayStation 4 versions. So like just PS5 exclusive. Like if you're looking at any other console generation, that is extremely lacking. If you compare it to any other
yeah.
generation. So
I mean, even if we just think about the Switch, right? Let's just walk it back to the Switch for a second.
mm-hmm.
The Switch is as powerful as an Xbox 360 and has been around for about a decade.
Yeah.
Didn't it come out 2014?
No. That was PS4. It came out in 2017 because I got it my year of high school.
Ooh, I'm AJ. I don't know why I said that.
Dude, that thing, I tell you what, I was probably looking like the biggest dork, but I didn't care. Playing Breath of the Wild in study hall was awesome.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, and then granted, back then nobody got it. So if you didn't have one, you just didn't get it. And then once everyone got one, it was like,
Oh yeah, or like
this is
when
convenient.
I would bring Mario Kart a lot, and there would be like a handful of people would be like, "Yo, you want to play Mario Kart?" We would just set it up on the table, and we would just play with our Joy-Con sideways and just play Mario Kart. It was fun.
Mario Kart's pretty fun. Yeah, no, the Switch is fun. I feel like Nintendo, don't fumble this lead, dog. Just don't
Yeah.
stop while you're ahead. Just keep making Switches forever and make other things on the side.
Well, the only other like thing I wanted to touch on controller wise, just this doesn't really fit in with any specific generation or console or anything. Just other peripherals. I know we kind of mentioned steering wheels and whatnot, but like there's so much stuff. I mean, yeah, there's steering wheels. There's the Guitar Hero guitars, the Rock Band microphone, drum set, all of that. There's the DJ Hero fucking
I miss DJ Hero.
turntables. There's airplane throttles, light guns, arcade sticks, dance mats. There's even Dance Revolution dance mats. Like there is so many different peripherals that are also controllers technically that aren't like you just wouldn't think of it when you talk about a game controller.
Yeah, shout out to peripherals. And literally, the only reason that peripherals were peripherals was because Rock Band exploded, and then when the Wii came out, it was like, oh duh, I want an actual gun for my for my for my Nintendo Wii controller. Why would I not take the actual gun?
Okay, I do got to give a little bit more credit to earlier Nintendo with the NES with saying that, just because of the zapper for like Duck Hunt. That was revolutionary at the time.
It was. It was.
It wasn't new. That's been in arcades for a while, but for a home console,
Exactly. Yeah,
revolutionary. You also had Rob, the ROB machine, where you actually had like a toy that interacted with the game and in real life. Like for an NES, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's actually crazy.
Yeah. In the 80s, they thought it was the Jetsons, and then now we're living in the future, and now we feel like, oh man, like my AI, like ChatGPT, you're so stupid.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, really, like that was almost a predecessor to Skylanders in a way. In a way, not
Definitely.
completely, not the same, but like in a way,
Yeah,
where
not
like,
one to one.
your physical
Same
toy
idea.
connects to the game and like they communicate. Like, or Amiibo if you want to connect it to Nintendo.
Okay, yeah.
I should
I
get.
wish
I
Amiibo
don't
still
have
did
any.
more stuff.
I don't have any Amiibo. I should get a Rob Amiibo just for it, just
Here we
because that's
go.
like kind of funny, full circle thing. Oh,
It is really funny.
one other thing, because it's not really a controller, but it's a controller. Can't forget about keyboard. Good old keyboard and mouse combo. Little WASD.
Okay, so here's the thing. Keyboard and mouse is objectively wrong, but
You just started a
it's very
dumpster
functional.
fire in the comments if we had people watching.
I mean, because here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? WASD and mouse like is fine, but there's a reason that your Xbox controller can connect to your PC. That's just a fact.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
See, for me, it depends on the game. If you're playing like a shooter, keyboard and mouse is objectively better because aiming is like you can pinpoint aiming. I can move right to your head and click versus a controller to flick the toggle stick, hold it, and stop at the right time. Versus a mouse is literally like no different than aiming, where you drag on something,
Yeah.
like you move it. So aiming wise, it is superior. It is, but
Yeah.
you know, if I'm playing a game like I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, like much rather have a controller, of course. You know, like if it's like a platformer or something like that, of course, or a driving game, heaven forbid, like
yeah.
keyboard
Heaven
and mouse and stuff like
forbid.
that. Yeah, good dear God. But like, you know, so I think it depends on the game to say which one would be superior. But for shooters and things where aiming is extremely important, pinpoint accuracy, keyboard and mouse is better.
But how much of a problem would that be if most controllers didn't kind of suck as far as precision?
Oh yeah. Again, it's hard though because of the stick. Like you have to. Then it comes down to timing on release with someone moving versus being able to actually move your physical hand with them moving.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay.
What I really want, I don't know how this would be done, but I want like a controller mouse hybrid where like my left hand could have like a stick. And then like you kind of like how they have like one like disabled person controllers where it's all like one hand.
Oh yeah.
So like stick and you can have like 4 buttons here, and then I got my mouse in the other hand with and I like the mice that have like the 2 side buttons like this one has, and you have the 2 on top. So then I have 4 buttons on my mouse, 4 buttons here, and then the toggle stick and the mouse for aiming. That is a goated controller. I think that would arguably be the best possible controller because you have the best movement. Because no. WASD is not the best movement. It's not. It's only 8 directions. So a stick with full control aiming, I think is unmatched. That would be objectively the most useful controller.
We might have a mediocre gaming patent.
Let's make some money, baby.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's not a bad idea actually. I will say one quick thing because we are kind of running tight on time. I saw one thing where this guy built the most insane gaming setup ever. Basically, what he did was he had a desk. He took a regular wood desk, hollowed it out, put a keyboard down, kind of epoxied it in a way where it was attached to the desk, but it was still a keyboard and it was like integrated in there. So like it didn't even look like you could actually use the buttons, but you could. And then he had a camera that would track your hand motion. So you literally didn't even need a mouse. You literally just move your hand and like tap and did this and did that, and it just tracked your hand. That's all it did. And so yeah, and it was like a $20,000 setup, but he got sponsored to do it for like a video, and he was like, "This is so stupid. Why would anyone do this? This is so expensive. Why?"
That's so sick. That's so cool. Especially the hand thing. I don't know if I'd like that or not though, because I feel like I kind of like gripping the mouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like. I would need to try
it,
but like you would get used to it, of course. But like,
so weird. But that's the future, baby.
Yeah, that is.
That's the future, baby.
Future. Well,
future.
With that, I think we've exhausted pretty much everything we could. I mean, shoot, we could go on and on about controllers. What are we saying?
Could,
but like,
We could have a whole episode dedicated to GameCube controllers. That's a fact.
Oh, I could go on and on about how it needs thicker thighs, but we're gonna have to call
And
it
these
short.
thighs, man, Jesus. Uh,
Love me some girthy thighs. What can I say?
Shout out to my coworker today who said he had a thing for bikers, and I was like, "Oh, okay, like cyclists." He was like, "No, like motorcycle right bikers." Okay, yeah, like bikers.
Mm.
And he was like, "Yeah, it's the helmets." And I was like, "Huh?" And on that note, we love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Share it too. Do that. I can't really think of anything else.
Don't forget, guys, that we drop new episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. Central. As always, we love talking to you. Please get at us in the comments here. We'd love to keep the conversation rolling, along with on our social media pages, which is also below in the description. So please keep the conversation rolling with us. We would love to have a little back and forth with you after and see what you guys have to say about this. So without further ado, I hope you guys stay mediocre.